View because we have New Kids on the Block. And we have some amazing surprises. Who here is a New Kids on the Block fan? Hasselbeck, what are you doing here?
I'm a huge KOTB fan. That's why I'm here, right? Yeah.
Girl, get out of here. We got a show to do. We gotta go.
Okay,
It's Tuesday, January 22nd. Coming live on The View. New Kids on the Block are back, and they're taking over The View. Taking the stage to give you a blast from the past. And a glimpse of the future. Celebrating the year of the viewer by answering your questions. And have some incredible surprises and surprise guests that'll have you jumping out of your seat. All that, hot topics, and more. Coming up live on The View.
Welcome to The View. I'm telling you, it's about 1 degree outside right now, but people have been huddled outside all morning because New Kids on the Block are here today. And I have to tell everyone watching at home, do not miss a second of this show because they have some huge surprises in store. We don't know what, but they're huge. When we come back, we're coming back with the New Kids on the Block.
Almost 3 decades ago in the 1988 mega hit song, You Got the Right Stuff, made them the biggest boy band on the planet. Please welcome the men of New Kids on the Block, Donnie Wahlberg, Joey McIntyre, Jordan Knight, Jonathan Knight, and Danny Wood. Wow, that was like Decibelville. That was awesome.
Broken the eardrum record.
You actually could sub in for The View one day. You've got the right amount of guys. You've got the right stuff. I'm sure you have opinions about everything, but I want to know.
Opinionated.
Our audience is full of your fans, and they have been with you since, what, late 90s you guys broke up. You made our 80s and early 90s, by the way. You guys reunited in, what, 2008, and since then you've been selling out concerts, cruises, albums. I mean, your fans, we are loyal.
They're the best.
Yeah.
They're the best. It takes a lot of nerve to sit on the stage with the women on this stage and wear a T-shirt
and have
like
Donnie on my
that.
breast.
That's loyalty. That's love. And I'm sure her husband wasn't happy about it, but
who cares?
It's love.
You know, Joey, oh my gosh, you guys grew up together in Boston, and you were teenagers when you formed the group. I mean, you became literally like the biggest boy band.
Yeah.
When did you first know, okay, we are a hit?
Oh my goodness. Well, we always love to perform, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And any reaction, I mean, this reaction is what you live for. So we've been lucky from pretty early on, you know, even in Boston. But it's been quite a ride, and to do it again like this is, it's just the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. We love that you guys are from Beantown. Jordan, when you guys first started out, though, there was no social media.
Right,
okay, so
right.
if you could imagine what your careers. Not to date you. If you could imagine how that would have affected you all, what would have been different, do you think?
Well, the incredible thing about social media is that, well, back in the day, it was kind of like our fans were like just a wall of people, you know, just flashbulbs and that kind of thing. Now we actually know our fans. We know their personalities. We know their names, you know, and we just feel a lot closer to our fans.
I tried to get on the cruise, but it was sold out when I tried to go on the cruise for you guys.
That is funny.
Yes. Now, Danny, we got to ask you about this photo.
Yes.
There was a photo that was tweeted, and it was you guys shirtless with mustaches. Danny, I want you to answer this. What the heck was going on?
We were supporting Donnie. Donnie grew a mustache on the tour. And we all kind of penciled in some mustaches, and it was just a joke, you know. It's just us having fun.
Is the only real stash in that picture.
Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That would have been a good sweepstakes question or something, like a giveaway to the concert, maybe. You know, we mentioned Twitter right now, and since it's the year of the viewer, we actually have asked your fans to tweet in questions, so they want to know some things about you. And this question is coming in from @Jordan's Love Bug. She tweeted.
That's a tame handle. That's a tame, yeah.
What is the most embarrassing thing that a fan has ever done to get your attention?
Is that
Could be Twitter names.
could be all
It could
of
be
you.
some of the Twitter names they've come up with. He's had some doozies.
Oh, they got some doozy names.
Love
Jordan's
Bug is
trashy
sweet.
broad.
Yeah.
Donnie's back alley bimbo. They come up with names.
She's here. She's here.
But it works. I mean, it works. I mean, how can you not follow somebody with such a sense of humor? It actually works.
Now,
go ahead, Chuck.
baby. You know, so 4 out of 5 of you guys have kids. Donnie, Joey, Jordan, and Danny, you guys all have kids. So do they listen to your music?
Oh, yeah.
They do listen to, what do they think of you guys?
Well, you base the reaction on, like, we just, I mean, can we talk music?
Talk music.
Can we say that we're just finishing up an album and I guess that makes it official, but, you know, to bring it home to your kids and see their reaction, well, they like this one a little bit more, and they keep wanting to hear that one, and don't you want to hear this one? No. So you kind of, you know, you base it a lot off of their reaction.
My kids love you guys. They have routines to I mean, you've got the right stuff. They've got a whole thing synced up, but they also are probably going to be excited because I know you have not just that announcement, but you have another big announcement that you want to make today, right?
Yes, we have a few things, but yes, we're releasing an album soon. In fact, April 2nd, the album will be out, and our first single from the album will be out next week.
Oh, okay.
But we're also here to announce a tour that we're going to do this summer. A very fun and exciting tour.
Okay, so what's so exciting, especially about this tour?
Well, see, one thing we've learned in all our years in the business, we don't want to talk about it. We want to show you about it.
We're going to show you.
It's a surprise.
You're not going to tell us anything yet because you guys are going to sit there and hang tough and hang tight because when we come back, New Kids on the Block are going to give us some details about another huge announcement, and you are not going to want to miss it.
Don't miss it.
Up next, New Kids on the Block are taking the stage to show you what you've been missing and have a surprise that'll blow you away.
That was the Step, the biggest selling single of all time from New Kids on the Block. We did. Who are about to make a huge announcement live on The View. So, Johnny, what is the big announcement that you want to make?
Well, Sherry, let me start by correcting you on one thing. It's announcements. Announcements.
Men's.
Because, no, for the last few years, we've been touring for the last few years, but we've been touring with Backstreet Boys as part of NKOTB-SP. But we're going out this tour. We're going to be headlining a tour alone. And when I say alone, I mean New Kids are going to be performing on stage, just us. We've been performing as part of NKOTB-SP, but our fans have been waiting for us to be on stage, just the 5 of us, and so we're going to do that. But if we learned anything from the tour with Backstreet Boys, it's that we do have to bring the greatest package that we possibly can to the fans. And in these tough economic times, we figured what's better than about 250 million albums sold, about 20 #1 records, 40 top 10 hits. We are going to bring a few guests to be on the tour with us. And the first group has not performed together. I'm milking this. I'm milking this, girls.
I know.
The first group joined us for the Mixtape Festival. It's going to be their first tour in 10 years. It's Nick, Drew, Justin, and Jeff. 98 Degrees.
You're my sunshine after the rain. You're the cure against my fear and my pain. Because I'm losing my mind when you're not around. And it's all because of you.
That's not all, though.
That's not all?
That's not all. That's not all. If you buy now, we're going to throw in... No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We want to add a little more to the package.
Okay.
Yeah, so we decided that this tour would only be complete with the biggest selling R&B act in the history of the music business. Nate, Sean, and Wanye, better known as Boyz II Men.
Can we go back to the days of love? Can you tell me how our perfect love goes on? Can somebody tell me how to get things back the way they used to be? Oh, God, give me a reason.
Nice.
I cannot believe this combo. Big time. Big time.
When we come back, more with New Kids on the Block, 98 Degrees, and Boyz II Men.
Up next, New Kids on the Block, Boyz II Men, and 98 Degrees are getting in harmony with the year of the viewer when they answer questions you sent us.
That was 98 Degrees, 1999. You can tell by the ripped turtleneck, chart-topping song, The Hardest Thing. And we are back with the New Kids on the Block, 98 Degrees, and Boyz II Men. This has been a lot to take in for us. I just have to know, Jordan, what, in terms of bringing all you guys together, what was, this had to be your ultimate wish list, right?
Oh, these guys are classic, man. You know, to have two great groups from the '90s come on tour with us. I mean, it's almost kind of like 3 generations. Us first, then Boyz II Men, and then 98 Degrees. So we're getting a lot of people involved and coming to the show.
But 98 Degrees, you guys, you haven't been together in a decade. What made you decide to do this? To go on tour?
The fans. I mean, the fun of performing together and being on stage together again, and the fans, you know, wanting to see it happen, and obviously this great opportunity. We've been so inspired in our career by both of these groups, so it's surreal for us to be a part of
when they want you.
a package like this.
Speaking of bringing people together, Sean, I heard that a lot of babies were conceived while listening to your music. What is it about the romantic influence there?
You know what? I think it's just the energy that we exude. We're naturally romantic guys, and the music that we sing just sets the right tone for those magic moments for all of you people out there to do what you do. You know, it's all good.
You know, Nick and Drew, you guys are daddies, right? You have children. Do you give them any kind of fatherly advice at all?
My biggest piece of parenting advice is don't take parenting advice from anybody. You know, every kid's different, every situation's different, every child's different. Oh yeah, those are mine. I think. No, it's just one of those things where you just have to go through it and feel it out on your own, and every parent's going to raise their kids differently. But he's a great dad. Jeff's got a whole basketball team. You know, so we're yeah, it's a different touring situation now than it was the first time around.
And Nick, you and Vanessa just had little Camden, right?
We did, yeah.
Not too long ago, so you're going to have a little missing heart, right? When you go on tour?
There he is.
Well, he looks like a Lachey, this one.
You know, and I think the idea is to bring him on the road. Like Drew said, this is going to be a different touring experience than it was in the 90s, but it'll be, you know, after the show, feed him a bottle, it'll be a whole new thing.
That's the easy travel age.
27 of our kids.
Exactly.
They'll be the new kids on the block, right? They'll be running around. Justin, 12 years since you guys had an album, so is there a new one in the making for you as well?
Yeah, we were actually just in LA recording, so we're about halfway through, and we're loving it.
My gosh.
Jeff, let me ask you something. You know, what do you think about new bands coming up? What advice would you give? What did you learn?
You know, I think if you're talking about boy bands in that sort of genre, like One Direction, The Wanted, I think they're all talented groups in their own respects, and I think the advice I would give them, and I think we can all, it's a testament for our groups and stuff like that, find people you can trust. Surround yourself by good agents, good management. Yeah. That's really, really a difficult thing to find in this business, especially on the music side of things.
Want to say something?
He just said word.
I mean, was there something that maybe you learned that you could say, gee, I did that wrong?
Yeah, I mean, he basically hit the nail on the head. It's just making sure that you have the right people that know how to guide your career for the long haul, because unfortunately a lot of these groups tend to be here today and gone today. Yeah. So, you know, to be able to have people that knows how to stretch your career out and cultivate it where you have a career in this whole thing.
And put the right people in your group, too. That helps, too.
You know, trust those people, too.
It helps to be able to, I mean, we're all friends.
Do so well in our...
I'll give you a word on that. No. What about Dancing with the Stars, Joe? I mean, I know that had to be...
This is the cast of season...
That's it, right? Wouldn't that be great? All of you.
I mean, that's where Joe and I really kind of became friends. We did the tour together, and you know, dancing's a great show to get you in shape and get you out there performing. But I have a feeling the show we're doing this summer is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to on Dance with the Stars.
Really? No sambas, no rumbas, no...
No, there'll be a couple little figure eights and some hip action. You can't call it the package tour and have no hip action.
That's a guarantee. Do you and Joe, do you guys have like little dance-offs every now and then? Can we expect that, maybe, on tour?
Interesting to see.
Wondering.
Well, my hamstring hasn't healed from when I did the show the last time. So, no, I think we both learned through time and things that some things are better left in the past. And we'll just let that ship sail off into the sunset, and we'll build the future together. You know?
The future's looking really great, because when we come back, we're gonna have more time with you guys. Don't go away.
Up next, Boyz II Men are giving you a glimpse of what to expect when they go back on tour and revealing if they think they can pull off the moves they did in their 20s.
gosh. Oh, I can't sing. I can karaoke you really well. But that was
not even that. No karaoke. Just read your stuff. Girl,
I'm so
please.
excited. That was Boyz II Men's 1994 Grammy-winning #1 hit song, "I'll Make Love to You." We're back with New Kids on the Block, 98 Degrees, and Boyz II Men. Now, Sean, I mean, you guys, you have been performing together since the early 90s. You're one of the most successful R&B groups of all time.
That's the rumor.
They are the.
Okay.
They are the.
Now, so when you guys go on tour with New Kids on the Block and 98 Degrees, when we're in the front row screaming, what can we expect?
Actually, a lot of pent-up energy. I mean, this is something that we've wanted for a long time. I mean, we've been friends with both groups for a long, long time. We've always talked about putting something like this together. Right. So to do it and to see the excitement of all of our fans, you know, which are all now our fans, you know what I mean? Like, it's a beautiful thing. And by the way, the new nickname outside of the package, you know, we call ourselves the Dirty Dozen. Like, this is just who we are. So, but yeah,
this is what dirty looks like. I'm in. You know, if that makes me a cool girl, God, bring it on. Now, listen, I wanted to say something because now people should get to this concert on time because they are in order of appearance. It's you guys, Boyz II Men, then 98 Degrees, and then New Kids on the Block.
Make sure you're there.
So make sure you're there on time. And I heard a rumor. Are y'all in Vegas now, I hear?
Oh, actually, yeah, we're very excited about it. We just took up residency at the Mirage, starting March 1st. So,
the Mirage.
You know, yeah, we're going to do we start the Mirage March 1st, and then we jump out on the road and run and do this thing with the guys because we're really excited about this. Yeah. And I mean, it's funny because we carved out time because we were looking to do the residency for a long time. But when they said they wanted us to do this, it was like, well, we got to put a spot in this just to make sure we can do this.
Yes, sir.
But we'll be there starting March 1st.
You know, we saw Boyz II Men. We're used to 4 members of the group, and you guys are 3 now. What's going on?
Yeah, actually, Mike left the group, wow, almost 10 years ago now. And, you know, just different, you know, things over time. You grow in different directions. But, you know, we still love him to death. And, you know, whenever if he wants to come back, he's always welcome.
That's right.
With us, so.
Can y'all do, can you guys do a little bit? I'm feeling a little Motown Philly. Can you do a little Motown Philly?
Sherry is constantly about to fall out. It's really, you know, at some point she's going to go.
It's too much. It's too much 98 Degrees, too much New Kids on the Block, too much Boyz II Men.
But it's kind of wonderful to listen to you all because you all actually can sing.
Yes,
you know?
all of you.
But it is different than a lot of what we hear now because a lot of it is auto-tuning. A lot of folks can't go out and get on our stage and a cappella. That's what I'm saying. Everybody here.
We all come from that era. We come from that era.
Yes.
Once they turn the mic on, you got to go in there and do it. Like, ain't nobody helping you out. So it's a good thing, man.
And we're fortunate because we grew up, you know, New Edition was sort of our inspiration, but we also got to grow up and see the great legends of Motown and, you know, many, many different groups. And not only the singing, but the dancing, the whole showmanship thing. It's like we feel really blessed to have come up in an era where we got to learn from the greats and the legends, from Jackie Wilson on. I mean, we learned from all these guys by watching.
Do you think it's a mistake when young artists do not know the history of the music that they're performing?
So, I mean, I feel there are moments on the stage that you feel like you're carrying the torch, you know, and that's special, just to be a part of that history that Donnie was just talking about. And I think anytime looking back and learning from, you know, people that came before you is a good thing.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, I assume you all feel the same way.
Well, we were blessed and honored to be on Motown Records and follow in the footsteps of these gentlemen over here, and so they were really our idols and kind of the reason we started singing to begin with. So, yeah.
You know, you guys. Thank you so much. We love you guys. Thank Thank you for coming and making the announcement here on The View. We want to thank New Kids on the Block, 98 Degrees, and Boys to Men. The package tour starts May 31st. And thanks to Live Nation and American Express, everybody in the audience is getting a pair of tickets to see NKOTB.
Check it out. First time was a great time. Second time was a blast. Third time I fell in love. Now I realize you got the right stuff. Come on, baby. I love the way you turn me on. Got the right stuff, hey, baby. You're the reason why I sing